Verstappen gifted almost Hamilton the lead. They've got it back. Max Verstappen goes past Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen's on the track himself, and somehow the Dutchman is hanging on to third place, and he's got a quarter of a car length in front. This is absolutely epic. Verstappen's looking for his teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Can Ricciardo afford one late lunge down the inside? He thought about it, and then he locked up. Verstappen
thought about that as well. I just was living my life. I wanted to race the way I was racing, and that has brought me to where I am today.
Max Verstappen, champion of the world for the third time.
Yeah, unbelievable, guys.
Max Verstappen is rewriting history with his exceptional performances and outstanding victories in Formula 1. And as you can imagine, his meteoric rise to the pinnacle of motor racing isn't by chance. On the contrary, it's a testament to his hard work, dedication, and unique driving style that's unmatched by any other driver on the current grid. From his explosive start at Toro Rosso to his unparalleled dominance at Red Bull, this is the evolution of Verstappen's driving style.
My name is Max Verstappen, and currently I'm racing in the VF3 European Championship.
After spending just 1 year in F3 and skipping F2, Max Verstappen arrived in Formula 1 with plenty of potential but very little experience. Beyond his lack of experience, there were also concerns about his age. Key stakeholders, including then FIA President John Todt, believed he was too young to race in F1. The Red Bull racing family, however, thought otherwise. For them, the selection criteria was simple. If a driver is good enough, he's old enough. While this may not be the best mantra, especially in a high-risk sport like F1, it eliminated the age barrier and qualified Verstappen to race for Toro Rosso. As soon as he climbed into the cockpit of the STR10 at the 2015 Australian Grand Prix, Verstappen broke his first F1 record. Aged 17 years and 166 days, he became the youngest racer in the sport's history. Despite missing out on Q3, Verstappen qualified in P12 and was running in P9 until his car was engulfed by fire on lap 34.
I think there was a little puff of smoke as he came out of the pits through turn 1 on that Toro Rosso.
It wasn't the debut he would have hoped for, but there were plenty of positives to hold on to. Verstappen had shown his raw pace and bravery, pulling off moves that you wouldn't expect from a rookie. So even though his debut race ended prematurely, it was clear that Verstappen was a star in the making. 2 races later, he stormed to a P8 finish at the Chinese Grand Prix to secure the first points of his F1 career. This milestone highlighted his prospect of becoming a top racer, but critically, it wasn't enough to cover up his weaknesses. You see, for all the potential that Verstappen showed, his driving was heavily influenced by youthful exuberance. In trying to be fearless and aggressive, the Dutchman sometimes drifted beyond the lines of fair racing, which made him prone to accidents. This was evident at the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix, where Verstappen broke out his front left wheel while trying to overtake Romain Grosjean at the Saint-Devote chicane.
You've managed a nice gap and you're starting to think a little bit comfortable. This could be why you should be feeling too comfortable for a while. And Verstappen goes straight into the barrier.
You okay, Max? I'm okay.
The stewards ruled out that he miscalculated the move and handed him a 5-grid penalty. Expectedly, Verstappen's role in this crash attracted criticism from the grid. French driver Romain Grosjean said the Dutchman was trying too hard, while Felipe Massa labelled him as dangerous. But amidst all of these criticisms, Verstappen stuck to his guns, saying he would not change his driving style. "It will not change me as a racing driver," Verstappen said. "I'll keep fighting, especially when you fight for points. I'll still go for it." And true to his words, Verstappen maintained his aggressive driving style, and somehow it paid off. He racked up 49 points during the season and finished 12th on the drivers' standings. Following this impressive showing, Verstappen was promoted to Red Bull after 4 races in the 2016 season, and he settled into the team right from minute 1. Now, before we proceed, please take a moment to hit the like button on the screen. Now back to the video. On his debut for Red Bull, Verstappen qualified in P4 and went on to win the race in style after 2 of the favourites, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, crashed in the first lap. In the space of a few weeks, Max had gone from racing for a mid-team to becoming the youngest race winner in the history of F1. Beyond the result, Verstappen's driving in this race caught the eye of many analysts. Instead of the usual aggressive antics he was known for at Toro Rosso, Verstappen was more controlled and mature. Even when his position as race leader came under serious threat from Kimi Raikkonen, the Dutchman remained calm and never strayed off the limits of fair driving. This change of style came as good news for many fans and analysts who had been hoping that Verstappen would incorporate some patience and calmness into his driving. However, some other people felt it was too early to judge, and they were right, because just 8 races later at the 2016 Belgian Grand Prix, Verstappen was back to default, showing traits of the reckless driving he was known for at Toro Rosso. While trying to fend off Kimi Raikkonen, the Dutchman pulled a contentious move that nearly led to a crash. Fortunately, the stewards tagged it as a racing incident and Verstappen escaped punishment. But as you would expect, some people were not pleased with the verdict, especially Raikkonen. The Finnish racer labelled Verstappen's driving as ridiculous. Meanwhile, Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff had a slightly different opinion, saying Verstappen's approach was refreshing and dangerous. And in a shocking interview, Red Bull principal Christian Horner admitted that the Dutchman's driving was on the edge.
For Max Verstappen to do what he's done here today, unbelievable performance. We knew the only real way to beat the Ferraris was to split our strategies, because in reality they probably are not that old.
It's also very good for Formula One, huh? Very, very good.
It's fantastic for Formula One. You know, to have a new winner, to have a youngster, you know, that's on the podium, on the top step, 18 years of age. I mean, it's incredible. He can't even drink the champagne.
Verstappen, however, dismissed the criticism, saying, "I was defending my position. If someone doesn't like it, that's their problem." Despite all the criticism, Verstappen ended the 2017 season in 4th position with 204 points. This was a significant improvement from his debut season, where he finished in 12th position. However, his reckless driving problems were still very much alive, and they resurfaced at the 2017 Canadian Grand Prix, where he had a collision with Vettel in the first lap. Although the impact of the crash was minimal and he wasn't officially found guilty, Verstappen's past reputation as a reckless driver meant he received more criticism than Vettel. To make things worse, the Dutchman would suffer 2 more collisions before the end of the season. The first was in Austria, where he was caught in a melee with Fernando Alonso and Dani Kvyat in the opening lap. The stewards ruled that it was a chain reaction, and no driver was found to have been wholly or predominantly to blame for it. Yet Ferrari chose to blame Verstappen. Within the Red Bull camp, top officials were hugely concerned by these incidents. Of course, they were aware that Verstappen was not solely responsible for all the collisions. However, they also know that the incessant crashes were depriving Verstappen and the team of crucial points, and it was evident in the results. Despite winning 2 races and scoring 4 podiums in the 2017 season, Verstappen finished in 6th position in the drivers' standings. That's 2 places below the P4 he made in 2016. As if that wasn't bad enough, Verstappen suffered 4 retirements in the first 8 races of the 2018 F1 season. 2 of them were a result of accidents and collisions. Many analysts believe that this was due to his impatience and erratic driving style. But every time he was asked about it, Verstappen repeatedly said he was never going to change his driving style. Well, that was until the 2019 season, when we began to see slight changes in his approach. 2019 saw Max Verstappen infuse a bit of calm, patience and intelligence into his driving. This made him less prone to errors, and ultimately a better driver. He claimed the first pole position of his career at the 2019 Hungarian Grand Prix, and his only crash of the season came at the Belgian Grand Prix, where he clattered into Raikkonen at the first turn of the first lap.
Well, have damaged the steering rod. That's the risk of La Source. Max will have to take the blame for that one, I'm afraid.
Fast forward to the 2020 F1 season, Verstappen suffered 2 crashes. This includes multiple collisions at the Tuscan Grand Prix in Italy.
And the Red Bull of Verstappen definitely took a big hit in the gearbox and sent him into the gravel trap.
And the dramatic crash with Charles Leclerc at the Sakir Grand Prix. Though the incidents were just as bad as the previous seasons, there was a sense of relief within the Red Bull team because Verstappen's decision-making and intelligence had improved significantly. The impact of these improvements was evident in the 2021 season, where he won his first F1 title despite suffering 2 collisions in Britain and Italy. In 2022, Verstappen enjoyed a crash-free season as he won the 2nd F1 championship of his career. The Dutchman replicated the same thing in the 2023 F1 season to win his 3rd consecutive championship.
And Max Verstappen is the world champion for the 3rd time.
Yeah, beautiful, guys.
I mean, that's unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable. It's been an incredible year for you.
In 2021, 2022 and 2023.
The more interesting thing about these achievements is that Verstappen didn't have to overhaul his driving style. He was still the same racer we watched in 2015 and 2016, except that he'd become smarter in the way he applied his aggressiveness. And we've seen many instances of this in the last few seasons. The last lap showdown against Lewis Hamilton at the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is a good example. Despite the intense pressure that he must have been feeling on the day, Verstappen showed nerves of steel to overtake the Mercedes driver and win the title in dramatic fashion. This maneuver was precise and executed to perfection, something that the Dutch driver struggled with in his first season as an F1 driver. The 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix, where he engaged in a wheel-to-wheel battle with Charles Leclerc, is another example. After starting the race in P2, the Dutchman went all out as soon as the lights went out, squeezing Leclerc wide to reach P1. The stewards ruled that Verstappen missed the apex of turn 1 and failed to follow the racing line. This verdict earned Verstappen a 5-second penalty, but a few years ago it would have been much worse. The face-off would most likely have resulted in a collision which would have knocked both drivers out of the race. And who knows, one or both drivers could have been badly injured. The evolution of Max Verstappen's driving style is truly remarkable. From being a rash and aggressive young driver in 2015, the Dutchman has become a racing genius with exceptional IQ, incredible awareness and great efficiency. No wonder he's able to perform miracles on the track.